One of the things about water is it looks very clean, but we're dealing with such low levels it can have an impact to people that you can't look, taste that in the water, but it can have profound impacts on our society. You hear stories about fish being caught that have dioxins, have mercury in them. Those fish absorb that material, so it stays with them for many, many years. Of course, when they die, it goes into the sediments, and it's still there. Mercury is a brain toxin, and certainly we don't want that in our water supplies.
By 1969, the Cuyahoga River in Ohio was so polluted it had caught fire at least 14 times, illustrating nationwide concerns over critical water pollution issues. Broad community action led to the Clean Water Act in 1972. This bipartisan federal legislation requires states to regulate and enforce clean water standards. Although the Clean Water Act was groundbreaking at the time, over 50 years later, clean water protection isn't guaranteed.
What happened here on December 22nd, 2008? This was a watershed moment.
The Kingston spill was a signature collapse.
In an instant, we knew we couldn't live there.
Raw sewage is flowing into the Cumberland River.
Over the past 5 years, 82.5 million gallons has leaked in Clarksville.
Don't drink the water in Germantown because it could be contaminated.
A 2019 study found that the level of microplastic pollution in the Tennessee River is among the highest ever measured.
It's higher here than in rivers in Germany and even China. The study took hundreds of samples from the headwaters north of Knoxville all the way to Paducah, where it flows into the Ohio River.
You know, we're all responsible for making sure that our rivers and streams stay great for the aquatic life, for all the animals and the other things that depend on it. Heck, we depend on it. Where do we think our drinking water comes from?
Water is life. You need water to survive.
They're absolutely a place where we come and recreate, throw the ball to your dog, decompress a little bit, or have fun with our families.
The river is the lifeblood of our community, and protecting it brings people together all across the political spectrum for one common cause.
Harpeth Conservancy's vision is clean water and healthy ecosystems for rivers in Tennessee, championed by those who live here.
And we take a holistic approach. We take a look at what the problem is with clean water or river, and then we focus on the solution. We build consensus, we work on what the solutions are, and then we put them in place. Some of the tools we use, we do our own science, we fund science. We work on law and policy. That means the legislature and enforcing the law. We work with communities so that they build a consensus for the solutions they want put in place. We work with farmers, developers, and homeowners to restore streams. We do all it takes in order to improve water quality and protect our rivers in Tennessee.
People don't want to live in areas that are blighted, that are ugly, that are polluted, where there's air pollution, where there's water pollution, where everything has been destroyed. And people, I think, are realizing every decision that is made is connected downstream, if you will.
Out in the rural areas, there's a lot of houses on septic tank and small farms, and the septic tanks and the livestock need to be handled properly in order to improve the water quality.
And it takes a consensus to solve these problems. They're not easy to solve without getting everybody on board on how you're going to do it.
Federal agencies, state agencies, counties, cities, they all want to do the right thing, but all of us are frozen in the requirements of our job. And sometimes we need to have someone come to us and point out a problem and be witness to it and say, there is something happening here that's not right. The Conservancy does that. And when it does it, it mobilizes the rest of us. We then have license to go after that problem.
The Harpeth Conservancy has brought consistency and continuity to all of the efforts to keep water quality high.
I've seen rivers miss the opportunity to be protected, to be taken care of, and the reality is that 20 years ago, this river was not as it looks today. It was dammed, people were pulling water, it would dry on sections in the summer, it was polluted. The Harpeth Conservancy have done a huge amount of work to recover the beauty, the diversity, the wonder that it is today.
One of the greatest things about the Harpeth Conservancy is how much it punches above its weight. You're talking about a relatively very small organization, but with very dynamic, thoughtful people that have kind of made it their mission to make sure that we don't wake up one day and have destroyed something that so many of us find is valuable.
Let me just make this clear. The Harpeth Conservancy is absolutely necessary. If we didn't have the Harpeth Conservancy to serve as a model for the rest of the state, we've had great success only because of that organization.
Clean River affects us all. Not only does our drinking water primarily come from the river, but the river is key to our way of life. People move to Tennessee and to Middle Tennessee for our natural resources. And if we don't protect them, our way of life is in jeopardy.
We're trying to plan for the future. We're trying to deal with what's going on now, but looking ahead 50 years. We are saving lives.
The Harpeth Conservancy is here on the ground. The work continues. It's not over.
The consequences of not protecting our rivers and our communities will impact all of us, from recreation and scenic beauty to drinking water and healthy habitats for wildlife, here and downstream. Your voice matters. The health of our rivers is vital to future generations and to the future of our planet. The time to act is now. If not now, then when?